Welcome to the Talk with Mrs. Gibson recap from January 18th, 2018. This is just a reminder that the Talk with Mrs. Gibson meeting is an all-in-one meeting where we will be covering SART and IDAC. Tonight with SART, we are talking about a parent survey results in addition to the safety plan. IDAC will be an open floor for parents to express any concerns that they have regarding culture and diversity. The agenda for this meeting consists of the following items. We will be reviewing items from the last meeting briefly. We're going to be going over the parent survey results and our next steps. We're also going to spend the majority of our time on our safety update, which is regarding the safety plan and any input or questions we have about the safety plan from parents. We're going to briefly talk about T-Wolf Voice, and then there will be an open floor opportunity for parents. Again, this is just a recap from our November 30th meeting, but things that were brought up as a concern back from the school year previously was communication, traffic and parking, and teacher-to-student ratio. In the white boxes, it lets you know what Reagan is doing to address those concerns and to keep us moving forward. In addition to concerns that were brought up on a previous SART survey, these are other concerns that have also been brought forward this school year from parents. Bullying, fundraising, and bell schedule. Again, we are looking at what is in the white boxes as how we are addressing these issues and trying to improve on them so that they are no longer concerns. One of the heavy topics that was talked about at our November 30th meeting was our kindergarten schedule. And honestly, my hands are tied. Due to us possibly growing another 120 to 150 students and hiring 4 to 5 new teachers, we will need the classrooms. Our facilities were not built for extended day, and thus we will have to go back to the AM/PM kindergarten schedule. The exact bell schedule at this time has not been decided, and it will be decided during the month of February or March. A parent survey was sent out to our community via paw prints, and it was sent out twice before we left for winter break and again after winter break. And looking at the results, we are looking at about 75 parents that responded. Thank you, kindergarten parents. You are the winners at 26 who responded, including the 4 from TK, so that actually is 30 from that grade level. And we just wanted to go over some of the results so everyone was on the same page. And looking at the parent survey results more carefully, there were 75 parents who responded before January 18th. 87% say that communication has improved at Reagan. 96% say they use paw prints in order to access communication. 88% say they use Remind. 67% say they use classroom newsletters. 44% say that they use Facebook. 93% of our students feel that Reagan is a safe environment. 82% say they like the homework policy. Again, our homework policy is site discretion. It is not a district policy, and if you do feel that you need homework for your child, please work with your child's teacher. 92% of our parents who responded feel that Reagan actually cares about their children. Some concerns that were brought forth from parents were traffic parking. Some still feel the staff is not welcoming. Some still want homework, and they want us to increase our intervention opportunities. Some would like us to add diversity to our staff, and some still would like some communication improvement. I think it's safe to assume that most of you probably wanted to hear Talk with Mrs. Gibson this evening or later in the week to hear about safety and how Reagan applies our safety plan on a daily basis. Our safety plan actually is about 250 pages, and what you're looking at right now is just a snippet from the table of contents. Just to let you know, some of these things are included in our safety plan as they do provide safety to all children at all times. We do have all of our child abuse reporting procedures in our safety plan, anything with a disaster response. Actually, discipline, suspension, and expulsion policies are also in our safety plan. Teacher notifications, we do have to notify our teachers if we have any dangerous pupils on campus. Just to let you know, there is none at this time. Discrimination and harassment is a policy that is also in place in our safety plan. Our dress code is actually a part of our safety plan. How you enter and exit, which would be ingress and egress procedures, are also in our safety plan. That would be the traffic video that was sent out at the beginning of the school year. We also have policies and procedures in place on our school climate, and how one of our main goals this year is actually to just get this information out to the community and our staff so that everyone is on the same page. School discipline is also a part of our safety plan. Bullying is actually in our safety plan. are guidelines for our support staff. So not only our teachers, but all of our classified support also has roles and responsibility when it comes to safety. Although we have 23 teachers on campus, we actually have 78 employees. So everyone must know what is going on at all times. And anytime that we spray for any type of pesticides, that is also in our safety plan for everyone to see. The safety procedures that we go over on a monthly basis with our students are the ones that you see listed below. Our main ones that we deal with are lockdown and probably our fire drill, which would be an evacuation. We also have other things that we take practice in, such as an earthquake, facility alert, or we have not practiced, but we do talk about our offsite evacuation. All of these things are dealt with in the classroom and as a school. In the beginning of the year, we actually play all of the sounds so that the students know what to listen for. And then again, we practice throughout the year, and then we have discussions on them so that we can better our practices as a staff. This is probably one of the most important pages of our safety plan, as it lets us know what happens if there's an emergency on our campus that could either be something like a gas leak or even a lockdown on our campus. It lets you know the primary site of where everything is located, and if something goes on our campus and we do need to evacuate, then there's a list of secondary sites where we would take our children in order to get them to a safe environment. So just so you know, this is something that is shared, obviously, with the state has to approve this. It is also shared with media. If you look further down, it talks about the media staging area. So if there was something going on our campus, they are allowed to be in our Leonard parking lot. Anything else would be obstructing any kind of emergency vehicles arriving or parents arriving, and thus they have a set location. If something goes on and we do need to evacuate our campus, as you can see, there are two different locations for people to go over, and most of us would evacuate over to the Clovis East campus. One thing to note is, for instance, last Friday when there was a mercury exposure at Clovis East and Rayburn, that caused some concern for our staff as our secondary site was now out of commission. So we did call an emergency staff meeting on that Friday morning to come up with a plan C. Our plan C, obviously at this time, is to evacuate to the empty field across of Leonard. If something goes on with residential building or commercial building, we would have to come up with a different plan C. But for some reason, if Clovis East or Rayburn are out of commission for us to evacuate to, we would go into the open field. The biggest thing to remember is that you have to trust us, and parents need to remember that us giving you your children back after something that happens on campus is going to take some time. Whenever something happens on a campus with regards to safety, as a parent myself, I think a mama bear would come out in me and I would want to get to my children as soon as possible. That is actually the exact opposite of what we need parents to do in an emergency situation. We do need parents to realize that it will take time for us to get the children back to you, but it is purely because we are following all safety guidelines. In order for us to release students to you, we need you to be patient. We also need you to follow directions given to you via communication from the school or the district. Please do not call the school line directly, which would be the 327-8900 number, as that will tie up phone lines if we are trying to get in touch with emergency personnel. In addition, please do not come to the school until you are notified. Thus, you would be blocking ways for emergency vehicles to get in and to attend to anything that is happening on our campus. In order to pick up your child after a safety situation at our school, you must have a photo ID. And you must be on the emergency card. In the past, they were white cards that everyone filled out. Now, this is what you fill out online in the beginning. So when we are hounding you at the beginning of the school year to turn in your online enrollment and to go online and update your information, this is why. Because we need to know who we can release your children to in case of an emergency. This is very important that you do sign up for Remind, whether it is with your teacher or the school. To date, I have 207 parents signed up for the school Remind. There are two different ways for me to communicate with you. One is Blackboard and one is Remind. In order for me to communicate or send out a mass text or email through Blackboard, I have to be sitting at my computer and on the server. Remind is the easiest way for me to get out information to you with regards to either myself or Mrs. Ryan or even our custodian, Mr. Marvin, can send out via Remind. If you are not signed up for Remind, please do so now. You're going to use the number, text the number 81010, and in the subject line before you hit send, you're going to put the @ symbol Reagan, REAGANCOM as in mom, which is short for community. Again, that's the @ symbol, Reagan, COM. Please sign up for that immediately, as this is how we will communicate with you in any type of emergency situation. When it came to questions, comments, and concerns during the 2 meetings that were held at 8:30 a.m. and 6 p.m., there were a few questions that came up that we were able to address. One of the questions was about which part of the wings are locked during the day. So the kindergarten classrooms, which is K1 and K2, as well as preschool and campus club, all of those doors should be locked during the school day. As far as the wings, all of the back of the wings are locked during the school day. The front of the wings are only open during school hours. In case of an emergency situation, all staff members have keys that can get them into the back of the wings if they need to, if that's the shortest distance for a child to run to in order for them to get to safety. They can let them in that way. And also the front of the wings will also be locked. We also did an example of a lockdown drill during the 8:30 meeting, which was neat for the parents who attended that meeting to see that in action. And our students did a fabulous job. They were able to get into their classrooms, doors locked, lights off, and everyone hidden to the point where we couldn't see them within a 3-minute span, which is a great time response to that emergency situation. And when it comes to us making sure that everyone is safe, we do practice with our children monthly to make sure that they understand the different drills that could possibly happen, that ultimately drills can become real life, whether it's a fire drill, an earthquake, a lockdown drill, or facility alert. And just to address the difference between a facility alert and a lockdown. A lockdown is a situation where we truly lock down the campus, and that includes turning off lights, locking all doors, and moving everyone away from sight. A facility alert does require us to lock down the school, but you can go on as business as usual in the classroom until you are told that it is safe outside to move on as regular business. Another question that was brought up is what happens during recess times or lunch times when the students are on the yard. Again, their first and foremost is to get to the nearest open building. So that would be, if they're on the yard, would be Mr. Vanderpart's portable, which is portable 27, or to the upper grade wing, which they would be unlocked from the back. Another question that was brought up was regards to parking and traffic. And there was lots of different conversations that came across that with regards to adding crosswalks, adding supervision out there. We welcome all parents to come and volunteer and help us with that situation. We really talked about how parents, we need you to really abide by our traffic and parking policies that we put in place. Again, the video was sent out at the beginning of the school year. It is also on the website. The red zone was painted for a reason. So wherever you see red, it needs to be a moving vehicle. Please do not park your car or have your children go up to your car to get into your car in a red zone. It really causes a lot of congestion. The other thing, we have a lot of students who are being advised by their parents to run across Ashland. This is very dangerous. Although the school zone is 25 miles per hour, unfortunately, we do have drivers who come down Ashland who are coming from the other side of Leonard or DeWolf and are driving at about 50 miles per hour. We do ask that children either walk down to Leonard or to DeWolf and use the designated crosswalks to get to their house. We also had some topic discussions about some apartments that are possibly going to be built in our neighborhood on the corner of Leonard and Ashland. There was some information that was brought forward from our community, and there is a community meeting with the city this coming Thursday. If you are interested, our office will be able to give you some information, but most of you should have been mailed home mailers regarding those apartments that will be coming up. Other than that, the other questions, comments, and concerns were a little bit more individualized. So if you have something you would like to bring forward to myself, please don't hesitate to call the school. You can email me at kcgibson@cusd.com, or you're welcome to come in and make an appointment with me, or if I'm available at that moment, we can also discuss anything that you have in mind. Thank you so much with regards to safety. Another topic that was brought forward during the November 30th meeting was the fact that I was going to be starting a T-Wolf Voice. A T-Wolf Voice is an opportunity for 20 of our 4th through 6th graders who represent our Reagan's demographics to meet with myself and Mrs. Ryan monthly. We go over numerous things that they think are working at Reagan and possibly not working at Reagan. The concerns and ideas that they have brought forward at this time are they really are concerned about our bathroom cleanliness. They feel that the bathrooms are clean when we start school, and then throughout the day they kind of get destroyed. So they want some things and policies in place to make sure our bathrooms are always clean. They would like paw ticket distribution to be increased by our teachers. They feel that they are doing great things but not being recognized. Morning announcements are our way of communicating to our students, but a lot of them feel disconnected from the school. They don't actually know what's going on because the announcements are not being shown in their classroom. While this is an adult situation for me to deal with my teachers on showing their morning announcements, it also gives us some time to think and reflect on different ways to get information out to our students. They also have a desire to share about their own culture at certain events. So in regards to Multicultural Night, instead of bringing in a guest speaker, they would like to actually be the guest speakers to talk about their culture, which I thought was neat for them to share. Something else they've brought forward is bullying. The thing that Mrs. Ryan and myself realized is that their definition of bullying is much different than ours. To us, we definitely follow education code, which is for bullying is something that is done over and over again. It's very persistent to one victim. To them, bullying is simple as a one-time shot of you can't play with us. So for us, what they have told us is a lot of these issues that they are seeing, which is important to them, is happening during unstructured time, which would be recess or lunch recess time. So we've come up with some strategies to help with that in regards to whether it's peer conflict resolutions. We've gone over some different behavior regulations and procedures for our students. We've gone over and reviewed the buddy bench that is there for them to use. We've also instilled a program at morning recess time where we have an adult on campus who can teach them how to play structured games, and then thus that can transfer into lunch recess. Again, this is an ongoing meeting that happens monthly, and it's just great for us to have our students be able to have a voice on campus. At this point in the meeting, we decided to have an open floor for any parents to share any kind of issues or concerns that they had with Reagan. And at this time between the both meetings, I think that the majority of the conversations centered around traffic and parking. There was a few questions regarding homework, newsletters, and how communication works with teachers. Some of them were individual issues, and we were able to address them and kind of move forward and make a plan from there. If you have anything else that you would like to discuss or continue to keep in mind as we move forward as a school, please don't hesitate to, again, reach out to myself, either by phone, 327-8900, or by email, kcgibson@cusd.com, or even stopping by the office, and I'd be happy to talk to you in person. So if you have anything that you want to hear your voice about, we would gladly listen to it. So please reach out to us at any time. Our next Talk with Mrs. Gibson meeting is not scheduled until March 6th. Again, this will be offered at 8:30 in the morning on March 6th or 6 p.m. on March 6th. And again, we will have a live meeting. In addition to our meeting at 6 o'clock on March 6th, there's also a PTC meeting scheduled. So we kind of will combine some of it so that we can all hear the same message. The reason why we are waiting until March to have another Talk with Mrs. Gibson is there are some big meetings coming up, and I don't want you to get meetinged out or to have to be out or away from your families too much. So I have some meetings scheduled. In January, we have a district LCAT meeting where we talk as a district about our local control formula funding and how all of our money is spent and allocated. If you are interested in attending the January 29th meeting, please reach out to me as I need to put you on an RSVP list. On February 1st, there's a district SART meeting. We do have a district SART representative, but I am always willing to take other parents as well. This is where you kind of hear the state of the district. One of the things that was discussed last time was air quality and how to read test scores. On February 15th, this is actually a Clovis East area only IDAC meeting. We will be discussing culture and diversity as a full area. This will be held at Oraz Elementary School at 6 p.m. and there will be babysitting. Again, if you're interested in any of these meetings, please reach out so I can make sure to get you on the list. Thank you so much for listening to the PowerPoint. And again, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Casey Gibson. Have a great day.